create many a chance. Alfie May saw his shot saved by strike early on. Corey Blackett-Taylor also with a shot that was saved by the Wycombe goalkeeper. But after 27 minutes, the only goal of the game so far came when Miles Lieber finished well after a good build-up play from Tyrese Campbell to find him in the penalty area. Wycombe have had nearly moments themselves. A header from David Wheeler went wide just before half-time there. Sam Vokes with a looping header that hit the crossbar. Apart from that, Charlton have actually defended relatively well. But more importantly, have got the one goal advantage here at half-time at the Valley. And to go through that first 45 minutes, we'll hand you back to the Charlton TV studio with Scotty, Brownie and Kevin Lisbie.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, great stuff. Liz still with us. Thanks for that, Liz. Really appreciate that.
No problem. Good to be here.
I'll tell you what, though, that's been a really impressive first half, hasn't it?
Yeah. I thought Charlton started off well. I was a bit unsure about where everyone was playing at first, but as the game wore on, I could see what he was doing. I could see how dangerous we were going forward, and yeah, we played some really good football at times, and maybe should have been 2 goals.
What were we doing? How did you see the system?
Yeah, I felt initially we weren't giving the ball enough to Miles. I thought we started getting Miles involved in the game, and I think he's got that little bit of quality in him. Every time he touches the ball, he looks like he's looking to make something happen. He opens up well on his back foot, and he always wants to go forward. And I felt like we had a good few runners going on behind him, and I felt that caused a little bit of panic for them. They looked quite slow at the back. And I think if we get those third man runnings going, I think we'll get a few more chances.
Yeah, Liz is right. We started off a bit slowly and had a couple of chances, but we have really come into the game and dominated it, really, haven't we?
Yeah, I thought we were excellent for half an hour. I thought we just tailed off their last 10-15 minutes, allowed Wycombe to just come back into the game a little bit without actually being too dangerous. Just that header at the end there. Said they were strong from set pieces, and they're going to get the odd opportunity from crosses because that's the sort of side they are. But yeah, I like the movement in front of the ball. Thought we were sharp in the early stages of the game. And actually, I like the way we've not tried to take risks at the back. We've certainly got the ball forward quicker. We haven't tried to play out. And there was one instance, I think Hector played it straight lines to Tyrese Campbell, come off short. He got caught, didn't see it again. Like previously, we would have kept trying that. We'd have kept trying to do the same thing, playing through the lines. It doesn't work. They were set up to trap us in that central area. When they trapped us the first time, didn't see it again. And we're bypassing that. The only thing I can say on bypassing that, I'd like to see Miles trap the 10. He's not by trade a left-sided centre-half. I think he's a central midfielder. He's the smallest one of the back three. Just let him pin him from anything deep. Any goal kicks, if we're struggling at the back, get him to pin the 10. I think he's got him physically in the air and on the ground.
I was out for lunch with Keith Peacock, Gavin Peacock and Tony Cascarini the other day. The conversation of how tall Miles is came up. How tall do you think?
I'm going to go 6'4".
Taller. 6'5".
I went 6'5".
6'6".
That's still the same.
You know when you have competitions on the radio?
I'm going to go taller. 6'5".
6'6", even 6'6".
Right, I said 6'5", Keith said 6'7", and actually I spoke to TJ and Miles, 6'6". So, boom. No, you said 6'5".
You said 6'5".
Because he got
you can't change.
I changed now, I really do. But my point is, absolutely, whether it's a centre-half or a non-centre-half, but even more so a non-centre-half, get him on him, pin him, and that's what he's doing. Let's talk about Miles then for the goal itself as well, because it was a really well-taken goal, wasn't it? And Tyrese did well as well. Yeah,
it's the first time that we've seen him go wide, and I'm glad that I'm glad he's finding those spaces out wide as well, not staying central. And look, he's got the pace. And at first, I thought he took too long, but he actually makes the right decision. And Miles moves his feet, and to dig that out and get a shot across goal is a great finish. And as you see here, he's quite strong as well. Thought he could have done it there. He waits, gives him the eyes, and just reverses it. Miles has 2 touches, shifts it outside his body, and nice and low and hard. It's a great finish. Good finish.
I really like that from, well, obviously Tyrese's point of view, and it's one of the few times he went out wide, but knowing he capable he can. Yeah. But this first touch isn't the best from Miles, but he doesn't panic, does he? No. Second touch just brings it a little bit further out, and then he shoots across the goal.
He's got no thought of passing it. The first thing he thinks of is, I've got to get this outside my body, I've got to get a shot off. And I think all good strikers think like that, in the box. You're not looking to pass to anyone, and that's why he's got his goal.
Liz was definitely like that, wasn't he? He weren't going to pass there, just like Miles. But it was a well-deserved goal. Yeah,
well-deserved goal and a very composed goal. So you've already highlighted Campbell just taking his time to pick the spot. And that ball, when it came back to Miles, there were groans around the ground because he didn't take it first time. But it wasn't there to be taken first time. It was on his wrong foot. The guy was coming out to block. Great composure from Miles to to get it away from that left side onto the right, and then the right shot across the goal. You know, it's a super strike.
By the way, Brady, you're right. I've just seen 3 shots on target there.
At least 3 or 4, if not 4.
Yeah.
So this, I know I've got a job after this, so I just go. I do flash scores and do the stats for them because they're hopeless.
Yeah. So your stats now, Guy. So well done.
Many.
So they're saying what? 1 shot, 1 save. Let's have a look because we were very impressive in terms of creating chances in that first.
Yeah,
half.
I think especially down the left to start off with. I felt like we got a few balls down the left, and just apart from the final ball at times, I feel like would have been a little bit more dangerous here as he plays. This is a great ball, great touch as well. Maybe go a cross goal there. The keepers, as you see where the keeper is, he's sort of covered his near post, and I think for me go a cross goal. But it's still a great touch. He does everything perfect there, outside his body, little steps, and maybe just hit it across goal there.
But that's what we're talking about, moving in front of the ball. Up to it. You know, that's up, back and through. Great movement from Alfie in terms of once he's set. It's a big, long, wide arc, so he stays on side. But that's sort of what we want to see. Exciting football, you know, in the attacking third, without taking many risks in our defensive third.
I think you'll be seeing a young Liz watching for the spill here from the keeper right in front. That one's there.
We were speaking about that early, about anticipation. What could happen next? What's the dangerous signs? And I think Miles, that's the next stage for Miles now, isn't it? Getting those easy goals rather than scoring the goals he did now.
Absolutely. From the striker's point of view.
100%. The first thing you think of is the keeper going to spill it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was the best move of the game. In terms of, I've said we're not been taking any risks at the back. By the same token, when there is a chance to play out, we're comfortable playing out. This is a really good move, playing through the lines to players in space, no risk at all with the ball, and we're only half a yard too far with that pass to give Alfie a little chance of nicking it round the keeper. But this goes back to what you were saying, Kev, what we spoke about off air, was attacking space.
Yeah.
There's been moments in this game where we could have anticipated a knockdown, or we could have attacked the space a bit better. Yeah. And that one there, in fairness to Terrell Thomas, he's attacked the space and he's very unlucky.
Very unlucky.
Yeah, indeed. We'll come on to just why the fans cheered a little bit later on. Let's look at the Wycombe chances, shall we? Because they created a few sort of early in the first half and then a couple towards the end as well, didn't they?
I think Brownie spoke about Wycombe's play and how they like to attack, and I think for the first 10-15 minutes they done it. Look, that's a great ball. It's a great defending, but for me, a bit too easy to get down the side of us. There, another chance from another cross. That's 2 chances from 2 crosses. Obviously, I think the wall does its job here. They all stand strong and it's the wall and defend it really well. But most of their chances are coming from crosses, and I think we need to defend them a little bit better here. A little bit more communication. We're speaking early. No one's really talking. For me, that's a great. I know the commentator said it's a hard chance. For me, I think that's an easy chance. If he times that right, I think that's a good chance.
Yeah, he's got to head that back towards the far post, hasn't he? But the one thing that's coming out of these particular clips is we're not getting tight enough to the player in possession. I'd like to see us do that a bit better in terms of when that throw-in comes in, there's a touch and a cross. You know, from dead balls, you can't do anything about it, but this is a great header. You know, that's beaten the keeper, and thankfully it's hit the crossbar and out. But yeah, and this is their threat. We did say it before the game. They're not just this, you know, they can play, but predominantly their threat is from wide balls into the box and set pieces.
OK, look, it happened just a few seconds ago, but the Valley Gold Crossbar Challenge, which we know takes place at half-time every home league match. 1 Valley Gold member or jackpot tickets purchaser selected for every game to have a go. Then 1 shot at the crossbar from the edge of the penalty area. Have we got it? There we go.
Is this the one I intended?
The bar hasn't been hit since the early part of last season. Prize pot £12,000. Callum Pert, what have you got? Whoa!
And it's gone in as well.
So Callum's dad won the opportunity with a Valley Gold's jackpot ticket that he bought. He's put his boy Callum to do it. And look at that, from the beginning of last season.
Is that 3 beers all right? Is that 3 beers?
Well, it's £12,000 he's won.
Oh, is it?
Because it's gone up £500. You can buy a beer or 2 with that.
The technique is absolutely spot on. It's like Bradley.
Curls he wouldn't be having that.
He wouldn't be having the technique.
How's that in the bar? How's it in the bar?
Doesn't matter.
Horrible.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Callum sits in the covered end upper on match days. I wonder if he'd be in a director's box for the next home
But he's got
game.
a few more friends now as well.
Listen, well done, Callum, because that is £12,000 going your way. It goes up £500 every time. So there's a lot of people that have missed. So congratulations to you. I have to say that was a fantastic strike.
Brilliant moment.
Yeah, great.
It's put me off a little bit. Big boys, the loudest rule we've heard all day.
Look, lots to talk about, but I tell you what, it's 1-0 up half-time here at the Valley, and won the Valley Gold, a crossbar challenge. More to come after this. Your home, away and third shirts in the Valley Superstore or online right now. Right, guys, what are we thinking for the second half? What will Michael be saying right now?
I think he'll have a little bit of a worry about first contact from set pieces for them. As you've seen from the clips, you know, they are quite dangerous, but can we do a little bit more? Even if it's just offsetting their balance, you know, you haven't got to win it outright, but maybe just get a bit tighter. Can we get a little bit tighter to the guy crossing it and stop it at source? Those are the things I think he'd be concentrating on defensively. From an attacking point of view, I'd like to see Campbell get on the ball a bit more. Yeah. I think when he's got in the pockets, when he's got out wide, he has this ability 1v1 to be able to take people on. You know, so I'd like to see him get in the game a bit more.
Would you like to see him get out wide, out wide?
No, not particularly. I think I quite like him floating up there. I'd quite like to see him progress in that position because it's a bold move from Michael. It's not been tried or tested in there, so it's a bold move.
Do you think he needs to move a little bit more in terms of creating space for himself?
Yeah, and hopefully Michael's looking at that, because if you're putting somebody in there that's not played there, part of your job as a coach is to sit and analyse that and go, right, you need to just do this at this time. Yeah. And I'd like to see, I know we say this week in, week out, but Corey's a threat again, but the end product's not quite there. You know, just as he gets in those areas, you think, come on, you've got to create something here. It just doesn't materialise. And I think if we keep giving him the ball, I think he's got. Well, their question mark is, do they drag the wing back, or is it the right side of centre half that takes care of him? But keep getting him the ball. Keep getting the ball. I think he's got this left-hand side battened down. So those are the two real big threats for me. And I think if we can get them on the ball more, I think you see Alfie have a couple more chances.
How do you see it, Liz?
Yeah, I'm with Brownie. I think didn't like the last 10-15 minutes. I felt like we sort of sat back a little bit and allowed them to get crosses off. I think there's fundamentals in football. I think anytime someone's looking to cross the ball, I think you get close to them, you get tight to them, you get their head down. I don't think we did that last 10 minutes. And because of that, they hit the bar, they had a few chances. I think we need to, I'm sure the manager would have seen that last 10 minutes and thought, look, we started off really well, we got to get back onto that. Because I feel like if we get the next goal, I think this game's over. I don't think they've got the legs in midfield. And I think with the runs in behind them, I think eventually they'll drop off, and I think we can dominate the game. But we've got to start well in the second half.
Going forward, in terms of the players, and we wondered how they'd sort of be linked up. It could have been a 4-4-2, but it isn't. In terms of Miles, how do we get? He scored the goal, obviously, but how do we get him more in the game, considering how dangerous he is? And also Alfie, he's working hard up front, isn't he? And he has had a chance.
Yeah. I'd like to see them swap a little bit more. I think they both can do that role. I think Miles can make some runs from out to in, and maybe Alfie can do the same. Maybe come off pockets. But I always like, when I watch football, don't like to know where the player's playing. I like to see them come up in position, maybe go and seek the ball, maybe anticipate what's going to happen next. So don't stay rigid. Don't just stay in the formation the manager's giving you. Look, the manager might say, look, stay where I've put you. But I think you want to get a lot of touches of the ball, and I think Miles is in and out of the game. And every time he does touch it, he seems to have that quality to open up. So maybe just go looking for the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, look, he might have said we wanted to stay in that position,
but from a defensive, look like that at the moment, doesn't it?
From a defensive point of view, though, if you don't quite know where the attacker's going to go, that's difficult to pick up, isn't it?
Absolutely, and if you do it effectively, it's not like he's standing there and he's not getting involved in the game. You've just seen that turn. I thought that was a real smart turn on the back foot and the shot, and I think he'll be a little bit disappointed he hasn't hit the target that shot. It looked ferocious, and we all went, ooh, but he'll be disappointed he hasn't hit the target, because those moments are few and far between. But he's asking questions of the centre half and the right one. You know, we try. Maybe if we can get a right back higher as well, And that sort of asks questions of their wing back, and then Miles can maybe pop up in between the two centre halves a bit more. You want to try and get him a little bit more central if you can, but if you can't, you know, he's done an effective enough job so far. But I agree with you. Can we find a way of maybe making him a bit more of a threat? Yeah, that would be the way I would do it, is try and get the wing back involved a bit more higher up the pitch so he can come inside a little bit more.
Defensively, they're so important. If you can keep a clean sheet, you just need that one goal. We've been needing 3s or 4s to win games this season, haven't we?
Yeah, and I do think we have taken away the risk element a lot more in this game today. You know, we've had a couple of moments where we've had a volley go straight up and come down in the centre of our thing, and we've had Hector, I can't remember the incident, maybe you two can remember, but Hector made a slight error and they were away. But we don't look like we're giving away opportunities from us building up play out from the back, which we've been so guilty of up to this point.
Louis Watson been impressive, Tyrese Campbell been impressive as well. In fact, it has been an impressive first half, although Wycombe have shown, whether it's because we've lost a bit of concentration or not, that they are capable of scoring a goal. We might need a second, but let's hope for a clean sheet. Let's get back to our commentary team of Terry and Greg.
Yeah, thank you, Scotty. Thank you, guys. Yeah, welcome back to the second half here. Charlton shooting towards the covered end. There's a sunshine creeping through here in SE7. Low sun now for the Wycombe defence to deal with. It'll be our visitors to get the second half underway alongside Mr. Terry Smith. Till first 45 minutes, certainly for the majority, felt like a much improved Charlton side.
Yeah, indeed. We just mentioned off air, those, just at the end there, that set piece where Vokes won the header, shows that they're still a threat. And you know, I guess it's one of the things of being a Charlton fan, you just feel always a little bit fragile, and a second goal would be most welcome. Thank you very much.
Challenge from George Dobson. And Charlton do have options on the bench. I think the guys alluded to it first half, but certainly Chem Campbell, Chuks Aneke, two players that, well, certainly Chem Campbell's case of, since they've been involved in the side, have created a lot of look lively, and there are options there. And Chuks Aneke we've known about for a long time, what he can do off the bench. It's Wycombe in possession with Leahy. Crossfield ball. Gerald Thomas heads it away. It's going up in the air. We'll get to the second ball as well. To the right is Wheeler. Cross comes in. Dobson gets something on it. Jones has to watch it all the way. Does well to clear. Watson inside to Dobson. Forward towards Blackett-Taylor. Lays it off for Terrell Thomas. Up towards Alfie May. Lays it off for Corey Blackett-Taylor. We just needed a little bit more on that pass. There's Lowe's clearance, almost knocks out the Charlton directors over there.
Well, there's a few directors in trouble there, wasn't there? But the sponsors were the ones that copped it in the end.
Tipped over the bar by Charlie Meffin, I think was the last one there, just tipping over. And it's Charlton with the throw.
Almost moment. Blackett-Taylor had made the run. If Alfie May's ball just been a little bit firmer, we could have been away.
Throw comes into Tyrese Campbell and Terrell Thomas into Campbell again. Challenge comes in from Potts. The Addicts will have the throw with Thomas. Throws forward towards Alfie May. Controls inside to Blackett-Taylor. Can run forward. He's on a run here, Corey Blackett-Taylor. Held up by two Wycombe players. Cross towards the far post. Oh, just beyond Lieber, who perhaps wasn't expecting it. It's a lovely ball in from Blackett-Taylor. Caught everyone off guard, and Lieber was just caught on his heels.
I think you're right about everyone. I think even us, because Blackett-Taylor looked like he almost had been left with nowhere to go, but he's managed to fashion a right foot cross there that cut across the 6-yard box. And as you say, maybe Miles didn't expect that to get where it was, although it may have skipped away from him either way. But lovely cross from Blackett-Taylor.
Goal kick comes away. Wheeler does well to win the header. Terrell Thomas clears. Ball ricochets down into Vokes, who turns, looks over the top towards Hanlon. It's quick to come and collect.
Yeah, just going back, Jones took a thump on the back of the head. I think he felt he was fouled and that ball went forward. It was a late, and he's just explaining that to the referee. Got there first with the header and got clattered afterwards. He felt that that should have been a foul.
Charlton have defensive cover. Tenai Watson, I mentioned in the first half, involved the first time in a match day squad for Charlton.
I think Jones has played well for this first half. I think we seriously miss him. He's attacked everything, and it's been good to see.
Clearance from, free kick from Eisted finds Lieburn, who's struggling to see the ball in the sun. Just got something on it. It's certainly going to be something that the Wycombe defence will have to cope with, that sun. I saw a lot of the Charlton players warming up earlier, really struggling to see the ball. As Lee throws forward, Vokes in towards Hanlon. And back to Leahy. Ball over the top. Be controlled by Hector and clears it up. And this will hit the top of the... We better get under cover here, Tel.
I thought that was coming to us, that one.
Oh, I thought
I was ready.
I was ready for the rust to hit us here, but luckily...
Well, I thought you meant off me.
There's Leahy.
Titanium, mate. No rust on that.
Vokes is ball down by Banquo. Wasn't happy. Felt that there was a bit of grappling from both sides.
Yeah, it's a curious call, that. I mean, both players were tussling with each other. Which way does the referee go? The one who started it or the one who finishes it? There's a lottery which way these free kicks go, and Charlton have lost out.
Free kick's going to be taken by Potts. Towards the near post, Jones wins the header. Cleared away only as far as Leahy. Out to the left-hand side, and Potts again. Ball down the line. Watson reads it all the way, and good defending from Louis Watson, not taking any chances. Wycombe throw, quickly taken to McCleary. Now Potts again, back inside to McCleary. He's got space. McCleary will go for goal. Plenty of venom in the shot, and might have taken the deflection off of Dobson, who was diving forward.
Yeah, threw himself at it. A slight nick. I don't think it would have troubled Eisted had he not got the nick, so it's given Wycombe a fortuitous corner.
Again, all eyes on Wycombe from a set-piece point of view. At the moment, you've got Alfie May, man marking low.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
Corner's taken. Jones wins the header again. And May let him go in the end, and I think someone else picked up low, but just trying to stop the run in. It's ball towards the far post. Farino back in the penalty area. Hanlon gets something on it. Potential handball not given as a Banquet does well to clear it away for Charlton. Tyrese Campbell will give chase. It's a good ball from Scone to find McCleary. Now the pressure's back on the Charlton defence as McCleary up against Watson. Does well to hold him up, and McCleary will cross towards the far post. Vokes the target again. Again gets something on it, and good defending from Lieburn, not once but twice, although that deflection comes the way of Vokes. Back in the penalty area, and Hector will have to clear now.
Well,
Wycombe aren't happy, feeling they could have had a potential penalty.
Yeah, I think that would have been harsh, but just looked panic stations at the back there, Charlton.
Leahy helps and McCleary. Looking to take on Lieburn. Goes back to Boys. Challenge from Dobson. Charlton struggling to get out at the moment. Heavy pressure from Wycombe. Here's Leahy. Now McCleary. Didn't see a lot of the ball in the first half for the visitors. Cross deflects off of Lieburn. Bouncing ball could have gone it anywhere, and Dobson, that's a lovely ball to release Alfie May. And Charlton have options in the final third. May just being held up and still with it. Scone for company. Ball in. It's cleared away by Leahy, and Charlton will have the corner.
Excellent break, lovely ball from Dobson to release Alfie May, who drifted wide and then got it in his possession. I know what he wanted to do. He wanted to swing it across to Blackett-Taylor, who was making huge strides on the left-hand side of the penalty area, or towards the penalty area, but he just couldn't get the right angle on it. So then tried to go past his man, won the corner, but had he managed to get that angle, Charlton could have been away.
Watson to take the corner. Swings it in an inviting corner, and Hector couldn't quite get there. Ball comes back to Watson in the penalty area. Trying to cross again. Deflection comes off Watson last, and Wycombe will have the goal kick. Much to the frustration, but it's a lovely corner.
Tyrese Campbell was on hand there. If it had just looked up and spotted him.
Wycombe with a quick goal kick. Now Hanlon up against a Banquet. Taking on a Banquet. It's good defending from the Charlton right back. But Wycombe will now have the corner end to end.
Yeah, as I say, just Watson just about to look up. Campbell was free on the edge of the area, might have had a better strike in. And the breakaway, the banquet had to be on his toes.
Clearing with the corner towards the far post. Hector gets something on it. Comes the way. Oh, what a volley! What a fine finish that is from Freddie Potts. Well, we spoke about Wycombe testing the Charlton defence throughout. Well, Charlton won that header through Hector. It came to Potts on the edge of the penalty area, and that's just an outstanding volley through past Isted, who was rooted to the spot. And Wycombe are level.
And then there are times where you just have to hold your hand up and say, what can you do about that? The clearance from the corner, got distance on it. Hector, 2 men on the edge of the area for Wycombe, unmarked, I guess, but Potts' volley, unstoppable, really. Isted was almost past him before he saw it, I think.
As I said, Hector won the first ball. I think maybe there'd be a bit of disappointment that Charlton didn't have anyone on the edge or couldn't close him down quick enough, but he couldn't have called that any sweeter, Freddie Potts. That was a difficult opportunity for him. And Wycombe are level, and they've started the second half well. It was that breakaway that won in the corner.
There was a flare come on the pitch which had to be dealt with, as well as a slight delay.
We're always in a game with Wycombe. They've built up good foundations with Gareth Ainsworth before his departure. You always make sure that you don't settle, and despite Charlton being a better side in the first half, having a goal lead, Wycombe still hit the mark from a set piece, and that from Potts shows their quality. Addicks are back underway. Watson forward towards Tyrese Campbell. Now Hanlon brings it forward, and nutmeg on Terrell Thomas is important. Charlton try and just keep their heads. Dobson slides across, and with the foul, yellow card.
I think that might be a little harsh. He got the ball, I thought. Well, did he go through Hanlon to get to it? I'd like to see that again, but it didn't look. I think the refereed that to the reaction of the crowd rather than what he might have seen. Although, as I say, perhaps I need to see it again to see whether or not he went through Hanlon to get to the ball.
Yeah, it certainly looked like Dobson got something on the ball, but no, it looks like he probably got Hanlon first. Dobson's 4th yellow card of the season, so one more would see him suspended. As a free kick comes in, well gathered by Isted, looks to release straight away. Goes long towards May. Just go and wins that header. And McCleary gathers, and that's where Charlton probably would have liked to have just settled the game down. Wycombe with the momentum. Ball from Boyce takes the deflection off Lebo. Now we understand some supporters had challenges accessing today's game. There's an issue, I think, across a number of EFL clubs. The issue has now been resolved, and we would like to welcome those who are now with us. We hope you enjoy the rest of the game, and we apologise for any inconvenience caused, and hopefully Charlton can go on to get 3 points. At the moment it's Wycombe who are certainly on the ascendancy as the ball's cleared away by Hector, comes to Alfie May, now needs support. May looking to switch it across, gives something for Corey Blackett-Taylor to chase. Farino back to Strike, who takes a touch. It was calm goalkeeping. Fortunately for the Wycombe goalkeeper, there was no Charlton player close by.
Yeah, calm stroke suicidal. He's lucky that there was nobody on the edge. I mean, Tyrese Campbell, maybe if he'd have kept his run going, might have got there, but Charlton in trouble now. John, surely that was, well, that's either a Wycombe throw or a Charlton foul, and his assistant over there has sort of hedged his bets.
Yeah, it's getting sloppy though from Charlton. The throw from Jones wasn't the nicest for Isted to control, and then he had to go back to Jones. They had no real other option really. So the throw comes in, May trying to compete for it, and Louis Watson, that's a lovely ball over the top. Blackett-Taylor will look to get there for Charlton. Oh, it's a heavy touch. He, again, in hindsight, would probably realise he didn't need to do that. Had the beating of Lowe, who was out of position, didn't look comfortable. But he's always an option, Corey Blackett-Taylor. Ball out to Potts, the goal scorer on loan from West Ham. Someone they feel's got a bright future. Ball down the line, Hector watched all the way, but his header goes straight into Hanlon. Does well to recover in the end, but again, not the most convincing from Charlton as Dobson, long ball forward, gives May something to chase. And Farino goes back to striker, clears it away. The game's becoming really stretched. As Wheeler heads inside. McCleary back to Scowen, across towards Potts. And Scowen again. Now Leahy inside to Potts. It's a wayward ball that Banquo will get to Charlton. Good ball up towards Leaburn. Lays it off for Dobson. Forward towards Tyrese Campbell. Does brilliantly to stretch and finds Louis Watson. Brings it forward for Charlton. Watson, was he fouled by Scowen? No, says the referee. And Wycombe clear up towards Hanlon. And can't control.
George Johnson will be questioning the referee there. Surely if you do that and you go through a player to get to the ball, it's the same thing, isn't it? But I think he did get the ball. That's the key thing. Whether he went from the side or behind is what the referee had to decide.
I thought it was very similar to the Dobson challenge. As Isted looking for an option. Go long towards Leaburn. Wins the header. May will give chase, but Leahy can control. And goes long. Up towards Vokes. Wins the flick on, but Jones is there for Charlton. It's not the most convincing of clearances, and Charlton are suddenly looking out of sorts at the back. There's McCleary beyond Hector onto his right foot, goes for goal and whips it not far wide, and Charlton need to try and wake up here.
I'll tell you what, that was a fine effort from McCleary, and there wasn't much of a gap between the left-hand post and that shot. And Charlton rattled, I think, at the minute, it's fair to say. Can't get hold of the game in the opening quarter of an hour of this second half.
And Charlton immediately have gone to the bench, and looks like Roy Anderson's about to come on. Immediate reaction, because Wycombe have started the second half stronger. Charlton have really struggled for possession. And someone like Tyrese Campbell hasn't really had a lot of the ball. Isted with the goal kick headed away by Lowe. And that will go all the way back to Isted, who rolls it out to Abankwah. The pressure's coming from Wycombe as Dobson forward towards Leaburn, does well to hold the ball off, and he's on a run here, Miles Leaburn. Low for company, now needs support. Leaburn look for the cross, comes back towards Tyrese Campbell. Forward to Leaburn. Goes down the line, hits Leahy, and Charlton will have the throw.
Yeah, it's where it hit Leahy is the issue there. That attempted ball forwards caught him somewhere where most gentlemen would have some sympathy with. It was an under-21 game here. I think it was Birmingham Charlton were playing. We had a similar thing, a lot harder than that pass. It's Louis Watson going off.
Yeah, he's had a good game, Louis Watson, but it is his first league start. He started against Crawley in the EFL Trophy. He showed some good touches, and Roy Anderson coming on. No Terry Taylor today for Charlton, who's suffering a head injury that he picked up against Stevenage. So he's unavailable. He should be okay to return to the squad next weekend. But Roy Anderson, another opportunity for him, a promising young midfielder in this Charlton team. Abankwah with the throw. Down the line towards Leaburn. Leahy for company. Leahy clears forward towards Hanlon. Hector with the challenge. Hector with the cross. There's only May in the box, and that's been headed away. And as far as Terrell Thomas out towards Corey Blackett-Taylor. Opportunity to take on Wheeler perhaps, inside to Anderson. Goes left to Thomas. Then forward to Anderson, who stopped his run. I think he was offside, and
that's why he stopped his run, because he would have offside, so he didn't want the pass, which came his way anyway.
Well, it's been a difficult half this for Charlton. We praised them in the first half. Second half, you've got to give credit to Wycombe. They've made it more difficult, not let Charlton settle on the ball, and certainly that change is an example of how Charlton have struggled for a little bit of possession in midfield. Jones gets something on the ball. Dobson forward. Ball comes down to Thomas. It's a long kick forward. Leahy with an awkward header up in the air. Lowe should win that against May and does so. Dobson does well. Down to Leaburn and now Anderson. Across to Terrell Thomas. Doesn't look comfortable. It's a challenge from Thomas. Looked like he got the ball. He's been given a yellow card as well, Terrell Thomas. It was a lunge, but looked like it was a strong but perhaps fair challenge, and Thomas has been booked, which is harsh.
Again, you have to ask the question, did he have to go through the player to get to it? Tricky one, that. I mean, he did make contact with Scowen, no question about that, but then it's the flip of the coin. Did he get the ball? He didn't go through the player. It's just both of them coming together to try and win it. Again, how does the referee make that decision?
It's one of those, isn't it? It is one of those that 20, 30 years ago, everyone's applauding that. Fantastic challenge. And it's now on that grey area where referees may feel it's slightly out of control, a little bit too reckless, even though he got the ball. The free kick was given. I think Scowen as well, from a Wycombe point of view, did well to get his body across enough and to get the contact and win the free kick. And it's the visitors with the set piece, which Lowe takes. Long towards Farino. Jones does well to win the header. Goes down with McCleary. The Banquer heads away. Now Anderson went towards Blackett-Taylor. Wasn't any sort of composure in that pass. As Scowen, the ball forward, cut out by Thomas. And now Dobson. He shows composure. Nice drag back to find a Banquer in space. Inside to Dobson, and now Banquer again. Forward to Campbell. And turns Leahy, and he's beyond him as well. Torres Campbell, brilliant. Now needs support. Still with it, Campbell. Cuts back inside when he wasn't aware Boys was there, but Charlton still have it with Leaburn, who's overhit it. Just wrong decisions there, costing the Addicts after a brilliant run initially.
Oh, the nearly moments come back, don't they? Torres Campbell did superbly well and just cross the ball, get the ball into the box low, cause some grief in that Wycombe penalty area, and then Miles Leaburn just taking a heavy touch. Just put the foot, could have just put his foot on the ball, almost but not quite.
Strike the ball forward, Vokes heads it on, Hanlon likewise, but Hector is there for the Addicts. On to the right to the Banquer. Ball forward towards Leaburn. Shown challenge from Potts. Referee says he gets the ball there. The Boys makes a run forward. Out to left to McCleary. McCleary cuts inside. Held up by Dobson. Back out to Boys. Leaburn still on the floor for Charlton as it comes to Potts. And across to Farino. Now Lowe. Leahy still. Charlton down to 10 men temporarily. As McCleary cuts inside Dobson. Lays it off. Hanlon falls to the floor. Manages to get out towards Scowen with the shot, and it's deflected away by Jones. Charlton just do enough to prevent a potential Wycombe second.
Well, I guess we'll have to see the challenge again on Leaburn, see whether or not it did justify a decision that didn't come our way. He's also got cramp now.
Again, I think it's that word isn't consistency. I think both challenges are similar in terms of they both get to the ball. I'd probably say Thomas's was a little bit more reckless, but this was a good bit of skill from McCleary to get beyond Dobson. Just here, Charlton got away with it as Hanlon just slipped. They had options on that right-hand side. Scowen's effort could have gone anywhere after challenge. Leaburn is back to his feet. Looks like Charlton will be making a change shortly. Aneke is probably the man who'll be tasked with coming on for Leaburn if there has to be a change there. McCleary goes short to Lee with the corner. And gives it back to McCleary. Ball in the box, cleared away by Torres Campbell. Leahy moves it back in, a dangerous cross. Farino gets something on it. Hector heads back to his goalkeeper, and the referee sees a shirt ball. Charlton looking to take the goal kick quickly, but the referee wants to stop play because I think Charlton are going to make this change.
Yeah, Hector having his shirt pulled all over the place while the header went backwards rather than anywhere else. It may have done us a favour, to be fair. Yeah, well, it does look like Chuks Aneke.
Well, with that change coming up, Miles Lieberman coming off for Chuks Aneke, I'll hand you over to Terry Smith to lead commentate for the rest of the second half.
Cheers, Greg. As you say, Chuks Aneke coming on. And an instant impact at Stevenage. Can he have the same impact here at the Valley? Miles Lieberman, the goal scorer for Charlton this afternoon, making way.
I think we might see Alfie May come over to the right-hand side now. We'll wait and see. It does look that way. I think Kevin Lisbie was spot on about how I think that's where Charlton can get a little bit more creative at times, switch players over. You know, we could have lined up with Miles inside in the middle, drifting Alfie May out wide. Just let the defence think a little bit. Nico coming on is a brilliant option though for Charlton in this stage of the game.
And he gets a touch immediately and almost sets up Blackett-Taylor. There's an important foot in there. It's Wheeler who got it. Wycombe clear it away. Hector underneath it, head forward. And straight to Potts, out left to Boys. Boys further left is Hanlon. Boys goes on the overlap. Hanlon cuts inside. Ball into the feet of McCleary, and his attempted return ball's headed away by a Banquet, but only as far as Potts. His chip ball looking for Hanlon again, who's turned into the penalty area. Hector comes across just to usher it out and does so. It's a goal kick to Charlton.
Yeah, just for the Addicts, we've lost a little bit in midfield in the second half. I think first half Wycombe were maybe a little bit too kind to Charlton, allowing space and time for Watson and Campbell. Campbell hasn't got in the game the second half a lot. Anderson, since he's come on, hasn't barely had the touch. Dobson's been man-marked by McCleary. I'm looking at the bench thinking maybe Chem Campbell can make a difference, bit of fresh legs in those areas maybe.
And that's another good touch from Aneke, and he finds May. May trying to release Blackett-Taylor, just couldn't get past the defence. And Wycombe clear, only as far as Thomas, who heads it forward, but straight to Wheeler. Heavy touch, but cuts inside to Scowen. Ball down the line, into the channel, asking Hanlon to chase it. Hector comes across, gets something on it, but Hanlon picks up the loose ball. Hector behind him, that's good tracking back by Anderson, but still Hanlon has it, trying to barrel his way through. Anderson on hand to tidy up though for Charlton, inside to Dobson. Drills it forward, up towards Aneke. Holds it up, but couldn't. A heavy touch allows Potts to take it away. That ball forward should be Vokes offside, it is, and he will finish, or will try at least. It hits it straight at Ice did.
Yeah, well, I mentioned about Alfie May potential play on the right. Looks like Charlton are going to a 4-4-2 now. May next to Aneke and Tyrese Campbell out on the right-hand side. Maybe Alfie May will just drop out of possession.
Dobson will bring it forward to Charlton in the centre circle, trying to chip forward, looking for Aneke, headed clear, and as far as Anderson, back to Dobson. To his left is Thomas. Blackett-Taylor inside. Also inside is Anderson. Trying to send May through into the penalty area. Can he catch up with it? He does, but he's on the far left-hand side. Thomas in support. Behind him is Anderson. Bringing it forward, Anderson. Still Karoy Anderson, thought about a shot. Reverse ball into May. Blackett-Taylor picks it up. Overlap is from Thomas, and that's cross is sent behind the goal and away for a goal kick.
And that's the problem. That is the problem for Charlton in an attacking point of view. You know, that was good build-up play. If that's the left foot of Eden, who's a more natural attacking fullback, you know, maybe he even takes his man on, but Thomas wants to cross first time, and you've got to put an inviting cross. You've got to give Aneke something to compete. You know, we're not a good cross inside. We don't give our strikers loads of chances.
Strike tips the ball out. Scowen gets there before Anderson and connects with the Wycombe midfielder. It'll be a free kick.
I spoke about this at Stevenage, but how many of those sort of fouls has Scowen won compared to Charlton? Charlton just don't really have that know-how to win those little free kicks. You know, we get in battles and we compete. But
it's a very young midfield, isn't it?
It's a youthful team. It's a youthful squad we've got. You know, you just see Scowen there. He's won about 4 or 5 of those. That's a free kick, but if he stands his ground, the referee's never going to give that.
Ball forward, it's flicked on by Vokes. Wycombe asking for a handball, nothing given. Aneke can't get to the out ball, and it's tidied up by Leahy. Ball out from the keeper's gone straight to Banquet. He's trying to send May forward, but didn't get the angle of the pass right. It goes straight back through to Strycek, who's got away with one there. And now finds Leahy to his left. He's gone forward to Bowes. Boys inside of him is Potts. Just inside the Charlton half now. The ball out to McCleary. Boys takes over on the left-hand side for Wycombe. Ball in is headed away by Hector, but straight to Potts. May's come back to help, but gets the ball back to Leahy. Boys still out here on the left. Campbell trying to get across, doesn't. Ball into the box. Vokes gets something on it. It's offside though. Eisted just beaten to the ball by Vokes' header. Unfortunately for Charlton, there's a free kick. It did go wide anyway. Chance for the visitors.
Yeah, Boys has been a lot more attacking this second half. You know, I felt first half it was very much a flat back five at times for Wycombe, but he's seen a lot more going forward of the ball. And that was a wonderful ball in, luckily for Charlton. Vokes was offside.
Receiving the ball from Eisted, goes inside to Dobson. Out to the left is Thomas. Terrell Thomas bringing it forward. Inside of him is Anderson, and closed down by Scoham, so it goes across to Hector in the centre circle. Bit of space for Michael Hector to pick a pass and sends it forward to Aneke. Gets something on it. Blackett-Taylor takes over. A little touch inside to Anderson. Inside of him is Campbell. To the right is Abankwah. Still Campbell though. Oh, and he couldn't get hold of it. Campbell. It's a tired effort. And Wycombe can break with McCleary. Goes past Hector. Up against Dobson. Cuts inside Dobson. He's got Hanlon away on one side. Still McCleary finds Hanlon. Inside Jones. Saved by Eisted. And it's as well that he did, and it's away for the corner, but Charlton carved open on the break.
I don't think he does save it, Tel. I think it's a block from Terrell Thomas.
Was it?
But the defending again, Tel, is poor. Yeah, Charlton make a mistake in the final third, but Hector commits. If you commit like that, you have to either get the ball or the player. Leaves Dobson isolated. Dobson's on the yellow card, doesn't want to get tight towards McCleary. And it comes out to Hanlon, who takes a touch inside and just allows Terrell Thomas the option to get back. And
I still think Eisted got the last one.
Oh, Eisted ran across to Terrell Thomas and patted him, so I thought Thomas made the block. But that's, again, just the decision-making from Charlton from a defensive point of view does leave me confused at times.
It was a tired touch by Campbell and he's down with cramp, so expect a change here fairly shortly. He's trying to make it back, but he just couldn't stretch to get to the ball. Therese Campbell. He's now got to try and make it back to help defend this Wycombe corner. We've had half an hour, just over half an hour gone of this second half. All square here at the Valley as McCleary prepares to take the corner in front of the scoreboard. Sends it in, it's a deep one. Far side of the 6-yard box, Eisted rises and claims it well. He's got no real out ball. Campbell struggling to recover from that cramp. And everybody else in the Charlton shirt was still in the area. Rolls it out to Terrell Thomas on the left. Up to Anderson. Looked like he might have been fouled there by Scoham, nothing given, and then the ball forward to Scoham by Hanlon, tries to drill it across, blocked off by Jones. And Charlton will feel hard done by there, whether or not there was a significant contact on Anderson.
I don't see Charlton get the ball forward quicker now, Tel. I think Brownie said at half-time there's been a couple of times in the first half where we tried to play it inside, wasn't working, so we went long. At the moment, we're just being pinned inside our own penalty area at times.
Vokes chests it down and then goes down under contact. The referee says nothing given, and the outball from Dodson finds Campbell on the right-hand side. Campbell, May in the box, tries to cross it in. It's hit Leahy. Campbell will come back and retrieve it on the right-hand corner. Up against Boys, goes past him into the box. Therese Campbell, can he get a crossover? No, it's blocked away. Oh, that had to be a corner. Well, the referee's given the corner. The assistant over there has given the goal kick.
When the referee's got a better view of it, and the referee's given the corner, it's a clear corner. It's brilliant defending from Boys. He stands tall here, stands strong. We'll see here. I said it's a definite corner. We'll wait and see with that. Yeah, it looks like it's a corner. That's good defending from Boys. Campbell showing cramp again, and fair play to the referee. The assistant was certain it was a goal kick, but the referee's overruled him and stayed with that decision. And Charlton with the corner. Who's going to take it is the question.
Well, they can't be asking Campbell to take it. He can hardly walk, but they are. Are we going to take this? We're going to make a change before the corner. There's activity on the bench. Could be two changes coming up, but it is Therese Campbell who's coming across to take it. He'll have to do a quick stretch before he does, I feel. I think Wycombe will also potentially make an. Or is that Vokes gone off? Or is that it? No, it's a change. Wycombe will also make a change, but neither side will make one before this corner, which Campbell has come across to take in front of the covered end. Sends it towards the penalty spot. Headed clear. Anderson catches up with it. But so does Hanlon, and Hanlon takes it off Anderson, who pulls him back in an attempt to get to the ball. He's going to get booked here, Anderson.
Yeah, that is a booking and stops an attack. Yeah, what they've done really well, Wycombe, is they've set traps more this second half. They've got closer, they've got more aggressive with their challenges.
Vokes is going off and it'll be Killian Phillips coming on. On loan from Palace. Charlton going to make the changes as well. Coming off will be Michael Hector. Lucas Ness coming on. We might be worried about the pace up top now as Charlton ring the changes. Might be a treble change in fact here for Charlton. Ness being the first one. Second one is going to be Nabankwa coming off, and Tenai Watson coming on rather, and had a brief run out for the under-21s against Bournemouth. And the final change will be Tyrese Campbell. Coming on is Robin Tadic. So again a slight change here. It'll be interesting to see how we line up now, because Tadic may come across to the right-hand side as he did against Stevenage, and did really well when he came on.
I mean, you've got 3 strikers on the pitch and Blackett-Taylor as well.
But Alfie May has dropped into that midfield slot, the right midfield slot. There's Wycombe prepared to take this free kick. 34, nearly 35 minutes gone. Sends it forward down the left-hand side. Thomas gets something on it with pressure from Wheeler. It's gone out of play for a Wycombe throw adjacent to the left corner of the Charlton penalty area. Quickly taken into the feet of Scone. Back out right to Fiorini. Scone again gets the ball into the box. Eistig comes out and claims it well, and just lands on Lloyd Jones, which we won't appreciate. It's still kept hold of the ball, which is the most important thing. Eistig.
Well, they used to live together when they were at Luton, so.
Ball forward looking for Aneke. Fiorini just gets something on it, flicks it backwards, and enough for Strycek to come and claim on the edge of his area.
I'd like to see Aneke come over to this side where Leahy is. Why is he pinning himself against the tallest Wycombe centre halves? Try and make yourself more useful across with Leahy.
Low takes it off his keeper, sends it long. Jones underneath that. Thomas trying to head it on towards Blackett-Taylor. Scone got a foot in and comes away with the ball and sends it forward. Jones will have to jump in. Good header from Lloyd Jones. Trying to find Anderson. It's gone beyond him though, and Scone again launches it airborne. Thomas this time underneath this, heads it forward. Blackett-Taylor will pick it up for Charlton. He's got no real option inside or in front. Manages to get the ball away and does well to get it up to Aneke. He's trying to send Tadic through. Fortunately for Wycombe, Leahy was on hand to stop that and steers it back to his keeper. Another almost but not quite moment for Charlton. Leahy again, heavy touch, almost allowed Tadic to snap in. Gets it clear. It's a good header from Watson, Tenai Watson. Cleared away though. And as far as Anderson, little touch into Blackett-Taylor. He's got Watson away to his right-hand side, as is Alfie May on the right corner of the penalty area. May looking for help. Watson providing it on the overlap, and it's Watson in the box. Back across, Tadic with a goal! What a finish! What a move! Charlton back in front.
What happened in slow motion, Tell? Just waiting for the ball to hit the back of the net, but it is a lovely move. Tenai Watson and Tadic, the substitutes combining from Michael Appleton. This is brilliant from May. He's patient, he waits for Watson, no one follows him. He picks out Tadic, who mishits his shot. Could have gone anywhere. I think you called it before he even hit the post, Tell, that was flying in. And it did. And gives Charlton the lead, and brilliant substitutes for the Addicts. Making those changes. We said the bench could come into play today. I don't think we expected it to happen that quickly after those two came on. Boban Tadic, what a moment for him, his first Charlton goal.
I'm not having the miss it. That was planted, my friend. Absolutely planted. And Charlton regain the lead. Lloyd Jones will have to challenge for the ball forward, does so, heads it clear, but it's away for a throw. Phillips across there to take it into Scone. Back to Phillips. Nutmegs Anderson. Still Phillips. Gets the ball across as well. Ness misses it completely, and Eistig can just pounce on the ball in the 6-yard box. Almost a comedy of errors in that edge of the 6-yard box. There's no Charlton player got a foot to it. It came off the back of Lucas Ness in the end, and well spotted by Eistig, and he lands on the ball and panic over for a while. 7 minutes of normal time remaining as Eisted sends it clear. Up towards Tedic. Leahy beats him to it. Potts sends it forward. Watson gets enough of a head to that to stop it going to McCleary. Away for a throw into the visitors. McCleary leaving it to Boys. Throws it into Potts. Back to Leahy. Potts and Boys combine once more. It's Boys with the cross into the box. A dangerous one. Thomas has to head it because behind him was Wheeler. He did well to get the good connection on it, but it's away for a throw by the corner flag. On the Wycombe right-hand side in front of the Jimmy C. McCleary coming across to collect. Back to Friorini, ball into the box. Jones with a firm header away to May, who launches it skyward, asking Chuks Aneke to chase it, but Lowe just gets enough of a head on it. And Leahy can complete, well, he was going to complete the clearance, but he gets it back inside to Lowe. Ball forward to McCleary. McCleary turns. May inside of him, so backwards to Scoham. Across to the right-hand side with Farino. Potts then takes over and sends Leahy away on the left. Further left is Boys. Trying to send Phillips forward, but that's well read by George Dobson, and he gets the ball away up towards Tedic. Tedic does well to hold the ball up. It's been Leahy sniping at his ankles. And the last one sent him over. Charlton free kick.
Yeah, I think one thing watching Boban over the last couple of weeks when he's come on, I'm really impressed with his work rate. He works really hard. It's very easy for a loanee to come in and just try and settle yourself and, you know, hide a little bit, but he wants the ball. He's always attacking. He's always looking to cause problems for the defenders. He's done well there. It's a perfect example. It's a difficult ball for him to control. Controls it, wins the free kick, allows 30 seconds out of the game and Charlton to push up.
Eisted free kick on the right-hand side up towards Aneke. Can't get there and might skip through to Alfie May. It needs Leahy to deal with this. Gets it away. And so does Boys. Good header from Dobson up towards Aneke once more. Holds his man off. Tries to tee up Tedic, but Wycombe clear it away. Jones underneath this, heads it forward, but Phillips will pick it up. That's good chasing from Dobson and Anderson. And it's Anderson who comes away with the ball. To his right-hand side is Watson. Just holding on to it. To know Watson, and looked like it was foul, but it's a good ball inside to Tedic. Watson goes on the overlap. Great play again from Charlton on this right-hand side. Watson a little bit isolated. Anderson coming to help him out on this right. Roy Anderson again finds Watson. Little touch to Anderson once more. Still in possession. Trying to draw the Wycombe players out. Back to Dobson. That's a good ball to Watson again on the right-hand side. Anderson trying to send Watson away. He might have put too much on that. He has, and it's away for a goal kick.
Good idea. Really been impressed with Watson in the last 5 minutes. He's coming on. He's looked bright. Gives Charlton that option. I mean, the Banquer won't. Banquer playing out of position at right back, won't want to attack, won't want to look for that final cross in, but Watson is playing high and gives Charlton another outlet on that side from an attacking point of view.
Wycombe trying to play it out. Alfie May stopped that from happening, and the clearance in the end is won by Jones. Ball up to Blackett-Taylor. Look like he was being held back there, and the referee's giving it the other way. Much to the consternation of the Charlton bench and Blackett-Taylor himself.
Again, that might have been the right decision in the end, but it certainly looked like Blackett-Taylor was being fouled before the ball even got in that direction. I don't think Charlton have really had much luck with those sort of decisions today.
2 weeks in a row, you could say. Strycek comes out in his box to take this free kick, sends it forward up towards Farino. Jones again coming to challenge it, gets something on it, but it will drop McCleary's way. Right corner of the penalty area. Ball into the box. Yes, well, headed away by Tedic back there helping, and he'll come again to try and win that, and he doesn't get anything on it. Farino left to Phillips. Phillips trying to get past Tenai Watson. Dobson back there helping. Has to concede the corner.
Yeah, that could have been dangerous for Charlton. They did well to stay switched on, and it was good defending in the end. A combination of Dobson and Watson. It's going to be a really nervy end to this match. Charlton needs to try and keep it up the other end as much as possible.
Corner comes in. Eisted, that's a great catch from Eisted, and he's taken a whack for his pains. That's good goalkeeping from Harry Eisted. Came to claim it, made sure he claimed it.
Yeah, he's been a bit braver today, Eisted, for me. I think last few games, I think he might have stayed rooted on his spot, but that's, I think, the second or third that he's caught like that. That'll give him some confidence.
He drops the ball to the floor, Eisted. McCleary thought about coming to him, changes his mind as Eisted sends it away up towards Aneke. touch on it, but he can't find Anderson, and Anderson takes out Scowen, but the referee's allowing play to go on. Ball up to McCleary, trying to send Hanlon on his way, and he's put too much on it. And it's away for a Charlton throw, as Wycombe prepare to make a double change. Harry Boyes will come off. Just looking to see who's coming on. Not one of those is Taylor, Dale Taylor.
He's a good player, Dale Taylor. I really like him. I've seen a lot of him over the last couple of years.
And Hanlon coming off. Coming on for him will be Kieran Sadlier. Dale Taylor on loan from Forest, isn't it?
Yeah, he had a loan spell at Burn Albion and did well. It was only from January, but it's a bright prospect. Probably similar to Alfie May in terms of physique, in terms of busyness. He's a bit of a poacher. He'll cause Charlton problems, and he's different outlets to someone like Vokes, who's more physical.
Corey Anderson trying to send the ball through to Aneke, but it's blocked off by Farino. And Wycombe had possession on the left-hand side with Leahy. Got space to run into Leahy as well. Outside of him is Sadlier. Up against Watson, cuts in on the right. Sadlier still in possession. Little touch into Potts. Potts further left to Leahy. Leahy's ball into the box. It's a deep one, and just for a second there, I think Harry Istead looked a little bit panicky, not knowing where that ball was going to end up, but it drifts out of play. It'll be a Charlton goal kick.
Yeah, and Sadlier as well is another good option for Wycombe. He was linked with Charlton quite a lot over the last 3 or 4 years, and he went to when he was at Rotherham, and since then he's been at Bolton and now at Wycombe.
The time added on lottery is about to commence.
It will
what
be
are we going with?
I'm going at least
double?
6.
Not double figures? I'm going with 7, I think.
7's probably my guess.
Oh, it's 8. As Istead gets the goal kick away. Headed up in the air by Lowe. And touched on by McCleary. Only as far as Jones, who sends it back forward. And Chuks Aneke battling with Farino, and he comes better on the battle. Into the penalty area, and Farino just got an important touch and then goes down holding his face, and the referee's given a free kick.
I just wish Aneke was aware that Tedic made a wonderful run from the right-hand side towards the edge of the penalty area. Was completely free. This moment here, if he could just cross it with his left foot instead of cutting back inside, it might have been an opportunity for Tedic for a tap-in. I think the right decision was given again. Oh, that's a foul.
Oh, is that not a foul? Lucas Ness headed it clear. May was barreled into the back of. Referee right in front of that, ignores it completely. Lowe dealing with it at the back for Wycombe. Out to Leahy. Tedic trying to keep him in there. Still Leahy back to his keeper. Strycek out to the right-hand side. Inside now to Farino. Drills it forward. Jones can't get there. Phillips gets there first. He looked like he was fouled as well. Referee waves that away as well.
No, that wasn't a foul. He was looking for that Phillips, and I thought for the minute referee had fell for that. These are the moments where Charlton just have to try and keep their heads, stay focused. Those long balls forward, it could just take a deflection. Someone could go through. What organisation here.
Leahy on the left, forward. Potts has it now. Tedic with a foot in, but it runs kindly. Wycombe have it back. Leahy on the left-hand side. On the overlap is Sadlier. Ball into the box though, straight to Istead. He claims it in the 6-yard box. Leahy apologises to Phillips, who was his target, but he was way off.
Yeah, I was surprised when they took off Vokes and Hanlon, because I mentioned about Dale Taylor. He's not an option for those crosses that Vokes and Hanlon was, so they need to be a bit more clever of how they use what they've got in the field now, Wycombe, and try and play a little bit of football in the final third.
Istead sends it forward, headed clear, but as far as Dobson. Heading back towards the Charlton goal, then a reverse ball straight to McCleary. This fell kindly for Scowen. Ball inside to Potts, been pursued by May, and that ball forward, there should be an offside flag going up here.
Oh, he's done that too early. He's done that too early,
yeah.
Assistant referee.
Yeah, but Taylor made a forward movement towards it though, didn't he?
No, I don't think
maybe that's the reason.
I don't think that matters. He's not ended up touching it.
But he made a forward movement and then stopped.
That's the
reason. That's the only thing I'm guessing.
If he had a call loud enough, McCleary was in. Charlton showing signs of tiredness. Alfie May struggling to track back. I wonder here if you just say, Alfie May, you play on the final third. Tedic, you drop back because you've got a bit of fresh legs. You can play that role.
Istead with the free kick. We've had 2.5 minutes of the added 8. Free kick goes towards Aneke. So headed on to Blackett Taylor. Goes up against Farino. Blackett Taylor still in possession. Got Anderson in support outside the penalty area. Corey Anderson back to Blackett Taylor on the left. Now still up against Farino. Goes past him into the penalty area. Blackett-Taylor on his left foot. Can he wrap his foot round it? Oh, what a finish that is! Corey Blackett-Taylor took on Farino into the penalty area, kept going and drilled his shot past Strycek, and that surely gives Charlton the points.
It's brilliance from the birthday boy. It's absolutely brilliant from Corey Blackett-Taylor. He knew he could beat Farino for pace in this one-on-one situation. He knew he could drift inside. Maybe here, he maybe didn't believe he could quite stretch and get on the ball still. But not only does he do that, it's a wonderful, wonderful finish. Beyond strike, could do nothing about that. And Charlton have their third and potentially the game-winning moment there from Corey Blackett-Taylor. Brilliant. Brilliant from Charlton. It's been a tough second half, but they've fought through it. They got that second goal. That touch there was wonderful. That finish, off balance, it could go anywhere. He is a constant threat for the opposition defenders. And when he gets in the penalty area like that, you don't know what to do. You don't know whether to get tight, he could get past you, win the penalty, or he could just deliver a strike like that. Wonderful goal.
Well, there's a yellow card delivered after that to the Wycombe bench, and I think that comes from the fact that they felt that offside was the wrong decision moments before the Charlton third. The Addicts now have a 2-goal lead with 3.5 minutes left of added time. Scott for the visitors lifts it forward towards McCleary. Thomas with the header away to Blackett-Taylor, who will probably have a bottle of champagne to deal with later on. Ball throwing goes inside the pots. His ball forward's gone straight to Thomas. And ball out to Dobson, sends it forward towards Aneke. Can't get hold of that. We can steer it back to Strycek. Sends it forward, but straight out of play. Charlton fans in full voice.
I think the most pleasing thing from the Charlton fans' perspective as well is the impact those substitutes have made. Aneke's been busy. We probably expected that. Tedic has a goal. Watson has an assist. Henderson's grown and grown more in this game. And Ness, from a defensive point of view, hopefully a little bit more of that. That was good timing. But that will really please Michael Appleton, is that he's able to go to his bench, which we haven't had at this. We didn't have those options at the start of the season. We've got more players hopefully coming back in the next few weeks as well, just to add that little bit more quality.
Well, Alfie May's just celebrated a challenge just inside the Wycombe half, like he'd scored a goal. Got to the ball, made sure Wycombe couldn't progress. Celebrated giving away a goal kick with a fist pump. And that's the type of afternoon it's been. Charlton revelling in a 3-1 lead at the minute as Watson forces back Sadlier, forces him back to his keeper.
Someone hit the crossbar as well, too.
And someone hit the crossbar. Oh, a hell of an afternoon, isn't it, really?
And Brownie's got...
Brownie's been in the middle chair.
And Brownie's got his lover Kevin Lisbie next to him, who he absolutely loves.
Wycombe building up down the left-hand side. Sadlier, ball across towards Scott. He tries to send the ball across to the right, and it's got there, and it was Wheeler who drilled the ball across, and it needed Ness to get the ball away. And just as you mentioned earlier, substitutions making a difference. Well, Lucas Ness, an important difference right there. As Wycombe get the ball in again, there's a flick on at the near post. This one from Taylor, but only succeeds in hitting it into his own fans in the Jimmy Seed.
Yeah, and I think that, as I mentioned earlier, that's been a problem for Wycombe, is that they took off Vokes, who was physical, always a presence in the penalty area for those types of crosses, and took off Handon. They brought in Taylor, who is similar to May in terms of likes the ball in the channels, and will be a bit of a poacher, that sort of near post run. And Wycombe haven't really created too many opportunities since then.
Well, Farino goes down. I think the fourth official gave that one because the referee couldn't see. The fourth official told him that Chuks had maybe backed into Farino. Gave the free kick away. And Wycombe have it on the left with Sadlier. He cuts inside. He's back out to Potts. Further left is Phillips. Back to Sadlier again. Into the middle. And Leahy back to Phillips again. He's cutting across the pitch. And across to Wheeler. This area causing no problems for Charlton at the moment. Ball to McCleary is to sent backwards. Scott back to McCleary again on the right-hand side for Wycombe, looking more dangerous at this point. Inside to Phillips, into the penalty area, and he trips himself up. He's pleading with the referee, but I'm certain he tripped himself up.
Yeah, I think he's waiting for the challenge. I think his foot is waiting for the challenge. It might have been. We'll see here. He's got booked in the meantime as we watch this replay. No, he's waiting for Anderson. As he lifts his back foot, I reckon his back foot touches maybe the thigh of Anderson ever so slightly, and he's expecting Anderson to follow through with that challenge. Doesn't happen. I mean, it's just frustration.
Clearly been learning that at the supermarket ground. As I said, gets the
professional as ever, Tellboy.
Up towards Aneke. He's having his shirt ripped off him. But the referee's seen enough anyway, and has called time on the game. The Charlton looked in control of in the first half, taking the lead through Miles Leaburn after superb work from Therese Campbell. The second half, though, was a different story as Wycombe came into the game, offered Charlton more of a threat, and Freddie Potts, it's an absolute stormer after 53 minutes to bring the visitors back level, and then it was nip and tuck either way up until Charlton made some changes. And the first of those changes, Bob Antedic scooping in his first goal for the club after again good work from Campbell, and the points secured when Corey Blackett-Taylor, a virtuoso performance on that left-hand side, cutting in into the penalty area, taking another touch and then drilling the ball past the keeper to make the point secure for Charlton. And the first win in his first game at the Valley for Michael Appleton will fill him with joy, as it has done every fan, Charlton fan at least, inside the stadium, and hopefully the boys in the studio as well. So with that, we'll hand you back to celebrate the victory with Scott, Brownie and Lisbie.
Great stuff, guys, and yes, what another fantastic win. So it is back-to-back home victories here at the Valley, 3 unbeaten. Slowly but surely, it looks like we're trying to get a bit more, well, certainly backbone defensively. And Miles, he may be hobbling along at the moment like a few other players. Suffering a little bit from cramp, but he should be absolutely delighted. Back on the score sheet, it's a very good win in the end. Against Liz, what we have to say was a side that at 1-1, we weren't quite sure which way this was going to go.
Yeah, we spoke about it at half times in terms of Wycombe getting into the game and sort of getting their foothold in the game, and you're sort of hoping that we come out and we start again as we did at the beginning of the first half, but Wycombe continued that pressure, piling on the pressure, and for me, for the first 25 minutes of the second half, I felt they were on top and maybe looked like the team to score, but fortunately we got that first goal.
This is a game earlier in the season we probably would have lost, wouldn't we, Brownie?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I think the pressure that they put us under when they scored, and it was a brilliant goal, and we'll go through that a bit later on, but it was a brilliant strike. But I think we showed our frailties at that point of why we are where we are. And Michael, again, I have to say, made a couple of decisions where you go two defenders off in a 1-1 performance. You know, you don't often see that. You don't often see centre halves pulled off and a right back pulled off. And I will say that did make a difference, as did the other substitutions in the forward areas. There was little bits of tinkering. But what I would say is, if you're winning games like that, when you come under pressure like that, right? So not only have you got the win, the 3 points, you've also he's learned an awful amount about his team when it comes under pressure today as well. So he's got the bonus of the 3 points, the 3 goals, and he's learned an awful lot about 3 or 4 individuals today when you're under pressure. Yeah,
really good substitutions, Liz, weren't they?
Yeah, as Brownie said, very rarely do you see a centre-back and a right-back come off and you're sort of thinking, are we looking to win this game, or are we making sure we don't lose the game? But obviously he knows his players, he knows how many minutes are in the legs and what they can do depending on what time of the game, and spot on with his substitutions, and I felt like they gave us a little bit more legs probably when we needed it. Funny enough, we looked a little bit more solid at the back that last 15-20 minutes, and obviously created chances and looked secure with those substitutions. So obviously he knew what he was doing, and he might have been something he had planned in his head, or he looked at certain players and thought, yeah, you look like you've had enough, you've given me everything you've got, but great substitution, and it worked a treat.
Yeah, I mean, he said last week, and in training as well, he learned a lot about his players. He would have learned a lot about his players here. Yeah. As Corey comes out and does the tunnel jump. And rightly so. Another very, very good game as well. Bob, just waiting for him to come out. TJ there.
He's probably never done this before, has he?
No.
Yeah.
And we'll come on to his goal. They all count. Unless it was meant a little 1-2 and that.
But that goal statistically means exactly the same as your goal against Liverpool.
Which one?
I love it. Take your pick of which one.
That's a good one.
I mean, we talked about he would have learnt a lot, but from a physical point of view, I think he also judges the player, doesn't he, as to when they've had their maximum. And even defensively, you're right, we did look more solid, but also tonight, for example, helping the goal.
I thought that was quite a big noticeable difference when Tanai went on at right back. The overlap for the goal. He got forward. We were saying at half time, how can we maybe impact Miles' performance? The right back getting on. Well, Banquo didn't get on really. I don't know if that was planned, as in a tactical move from the coach and the manager, or he just isn't comfortable getting forward. But when Tanai come on, you saw the difference. Willing to overlap, and I thought Alfie May's composure actually on that goal was excellent. He waited and he waited. So there was lots to like. Are we in a position with Tanai where we have been with a lot of our players? Does he get in the side and he's finding his fitness whilst he's playing, which seems to be an issue for us, and hopefully will slowly disappear as the season goes on and they all get fit. But look, you've won a game, and credit to Wycombe, because they come out, they got their goal, they looked strong. If there was anyone who looked like they were going to win, it was them, and we've shown a bit of character there today to then overturn that performance and get a 3-1 victory, which I think is really important.
Did we do that last week as well?
Yeah, we've done it 3 games in a row. I think we've gone behind in the previous 2 and come back and found a way to get 3 points and a point. Today was different because the momentum shift was all with Wycombe. They were on the front foot and dominating the game. And so for me, that's as important as coming back from a goal behind. You found a way to stop that and turn it around and get the 3 points.
Let's go through the goals then, shall we? It was Miles who got the first one in the first half to make it 1-0. And again, really good play from Tyrese, but really good strikers play as well, composed play from Miles, isn't it?
Yeah, I think more for Tyrese. I think that shows the composure. A lot of people whips that across the box, but he's had the composure to give to Miles. And for, I don't know, we were speaking about earlier, Miles is 6'6", to move his feet and to push it outside his body as he did, with a clear idea of what he wanted to do. To implement this in a small area, he would have done that lots of times in a five-a-side, but to do it in a game like that is a really good finish.
Well, that's the sign of a good striker, isn't it? To have that cold-blooded composure in a game like you do in a five-a-side in training.
Yeah, and that's why we do five-a-sides. I know a lot of people that don't play the game think we go and have a little jolly up, but in actual fact, you work on those sort of finishes in tight areas as a striker. So when it comes to a game situation, you are comfortable in those situations.
It's a little bit of a jolly up as well, though, isn't it?
Last 10 minutes of a five-a-side, yeah. Depends if you win or lose, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or if Curbs is taking it or Merv's taking it. Depends.
They did come back into it, didn't they? And they looked like they were going to come back and score, really. To be fair, it's a good strike, but could we have got tighter?
I think so. I think if you look at delivery, he's asking questions. And we get first contact, which is good. But I think, Tyrese, we were discussing this. You've made the effort to come all the way out there. Listen, it's an unbelievable strike technically. But if you're making the effort to get all the way out to the player that's going to volley, can you do a little bit more?
Look at my space they've got there then.
Yeah,
and there.
I agree. But at least, you're on the front foot. We've got. I think Tyrese can do more with that block, with his body. But as Kev said to me off air, we wouldn't have expected John Robinson to do that because it's not in their game
to do it. Was that Kev who said that? Was it you?
It was actually you that said it. I agreed with you.
Was it? You see, I don't like it to be me. Was it? I flipped it. Sorry. But the point I'm making is some players aren't comfortable throwing themselves in front of it and getting hit with balls. But I think if you make the effort to get out there, I think the angle of attack could have been better from Tyrese to block that.
At that point. I have to say, by the way, Freddie Potts, Stevie Potts' boy. I played with Stevie Potts. What a fantastic, lovely guy and a really good player as well. So I'll text him a little bit later when my phone starts working.
If it starts working.
If it does. How worried were you at that particular point, Liz?
Yeah, me and Brandon were speaking, and me and Brandon actually looked at the percentages, and obviously we were talking about the chances of us scoring and the chance of their scoring, and it was spot on because they were in our box. I'm not sure how many touches they had in our box, after that period, but it would have been quite a few. So you start sort of worrying, and you start seeing a few of your players losing the ball, giving the ball away, not doing the things you were doing in the beginning of the game, and it starts getting a bit worrying, and you start thinking, where's those experienced players out there to settle it down? And it didn't seem like we had that, to be honest, but fair play to the lads, they hang on, and when we had those moments, they found those moments to make a difference.
They did, found a moment to make it 2-1. Well, that was the crucial goal, Brownie, wasn't it? And you mentioned about Alfie and Tanay as well.
Yeah.
To be fair to Brownie, he's actually screaming for Alfie to go down the centre, weren't you? Before he actually went down there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I just see it. I mean, again, look, they go in. It doesn't matter how it's gone in. It's gone in, right? But if you look, right back's on here, so he's in a great position to receive to go 2v1 on the right. But this is good play from Alfie. He doesn't rush. He doesn't just blindly put the ball in there. He waits and he waits. And then that gives the opportunity for Tanay for the cutback. And like we've all said, you know, it's a scruffy, horrible goal. We don't care. It's in the back of the net, 2-1. And we were by and large on the back foot at this point. So it's just moments where, you know, when we say about Blackett-Taylor, about he gets in great positions and he doesn't do that. You know, and look at the difference it makes when you're composed in the final third. You can get that kind of movement. And it's not us being overly critical. You just know what Blackett-Taylor could be if he could compose himself and he could just, you know, his brain could work out moments in the box and what to do for the right of the team or the betterment of the team. And that's what you see when decisions are right, timing of runs are right, positional players in positions that are set for a cutback and across your ball across the box. It was a really good goal, well constructed.
We have to give credit again to Michael for that substitution, because I think James had the legs to do what Tanay did in that particular moment.
Yeah,
but we must mention Boban as well. You know, whether it's a scuff goal or not, he must be delighted to get on the score sheet.
They're the best ones, isn't it? We spoke earlier about not having to earn your goals and getting a bit of luck, but for me, to be in that position, you deserve everything you get. And I know it was a two-touch finish. I'm not sure if it came off his left foot, but the left foot was probably the reason it went in. It sort of went away from the keeper. But look, he won't go home and debate if it was a good goal or not. He would just say, look, I scored, and he came on and he made a difference for me.
Score any scruffy goals like that at all?
No,
no,
all clean, all clean. Yeah. Only about 50 there.
Let's have a look at 3-1 as well. And you were saying at the time when Corey picked up the ball, just say.
Yeah, I just think you just be patient here. You're waiting for the defender to plant his foot. You're waiting for him to be square, and then the space, and he just drives into it. And as he drives in, I think he gets a little bit of luck with that touch there, but it's a great finish. He makes sure he wraps his foot around it. I think that's the key to this. Going back onto this bit here, I think you're waiting for the defender to plant both of his feet. You're waiting for him to be square, good distance, and then you push it. And once you've got that in here, he can't touch you, and you get across there. And for me, this touch here is a little bit fortunate, but all you've got to do now is wrap your foot around it and ensure that you hit the target, and the power alone will get it past the keeper. It's a great finish.
It's a really good finish, isn't it? You have to say, but someone who struggled fitness-wise himself to last sort of 90 minutes, and yet he's doing this late on.
Yeah, I mean, that's all about, for me, off the mark pace, right? So once you get the defender stood still and he overcommits to show him the line, right? They're so intent on not showing him inside, you know, that he overcommits to show him the line. And all good wide players with Corey's pace should then take it. Take the door that is open for you. I agree. I think Wheeler could do better, and once he skips past Wheeler, it's in a perfect position to wrap your foot around it for that left hand side.
Do you think the right back should show him inside there?
Right. If he doesn't want to show him inside, that's fine, but he's overcommitted, so he's almost square with him, right? And Blackett-Taylor has got very good pace off the mark, and defenders, if I was out there, there's no way I'd have allowed that gate to be that wide. All right, unless I can step across him. You've got to start using your arm and your body.
I wonder if his ears are burning. Let's see what he's got to say. He's with Terry right now.
Corey, congratulations. 3 points for the team and a goal on your birthday. Quite a way to celebrate that.
Yeah, definitely. I think before the game, if I told anyone that was speaking to me what would a perfect day be, and I'll say a win and a goal, so I'm happy that I was able to do it.
I was talking to a lot of supporters around the stadium ahead of kick-off, and lots said that they fancied you to score today. There's a lot of confidence kind of, and I suppose to a certain degree a bit of pressure on your shoulders to deliver goals, assists and so on, but you seem to be in a really, really good spell, no matter what position you're asked to play in.
Yeah, definitely. I think I did a lot of work in the summer. Obviously, I finished the season injured, so I had a lot of work to do, and I think it's paying off now. And I think like the understanding I have with even the new gaffer now, it's just working on the pitch, and I'm just happy how everything's going.
One thing that was really impressive about the team today was that sort of all-round performance right into the dying stages of the game. I know it's something that the team has wanted to work on for a long time, yourself included, being able to still find that pace and electricity so long in the game. Talk us through the goal from your perspective.
I think the second half was a bit more, we had to do a lot more defending because they came out fast, but I always know that if I get one moment, that's all it takes. So I remember getting the ball on the left, and then I just kind of squared him up, and I could see that he was kind of tired, so I seen space behind him and I just kind of went for it, and then I just think I took like 2-3 touches and then the ball was in the back of the net, so all just happened quick.
It was a really special moment, and it was an important one as well, because it really did seal and wrap up the 3 points. Scoring in front of that covered end as well must just add that little bit of extra special quality to moments like that.
Yeah, I can't even describe the feeling. Like it was just a mad feeling, but yeah, like I was just happy, like really happy that I managed to score and then we got the win.
You mentioned the defending, and I think it's important as well that we do reflect on that, because Wycombe are a really good team. They came into the match on a strong unbeaten run, and we did have to ride out some tricky spells, which would have been expected. But the team showed a bit of a grittiness and determination and defended as a unit as well, yourself included.
Yeah, I think the gaffers definitely like tried to implement that. Even just then, we was just noticing, and even though we've won, he's still talking about moments that we could have done better and should have done better. So I think if we know that we have all the talent going forward, then we can always score, but just keeping the ball out of the back of the net is going to give us more chances of winning games, so it's important for us.
On that note, do you and your teammates almost want to use perhaps today's performance and result as a bit of a benchmark moving on into a really kind of important and busy flurry of fixtures?
Yeah, definitely. I think if we can show our consistency in the wins, or even so just like we're not losing basically. So even if it's a draw or win, we can just start doing that, and then I think it will definitely help us towards the end of the season when we're closer to the table and trying to get promoted.
I bet there's a party mood in that dressing room now. With it being your birthday, do you just get to control the music and make sure everyone goes home with a smile on their face?
Yeah, everyone's buzzing for me, to be fair. So yeah, I'm gonna obviously enjoy the rest of my day, but I think it started today. I don't think I'll enjoy my day as much if today didn't go the way it did. So
3 points, a goal. Enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday, Corey. And of course,
go on, Brownie.
Surely on your birthday, it was always you brought in cakes, right?
I think it's carrots now.
he might have brought in cakes. It's just it's not going to be for us. Well, he's brought a goal for you, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, but if you're savvy, you get cakes up to the studio for favour.
No, he's not bothered about what he's
And he knows Brownie's up here as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Without even the cakes, we're showing his stuff. So look, how good is he? How good can he be? And what does he need to be, at the very least, a championship player?
Well, listen, he's an absolute handful. That is for sure. I mean, it's obvious for everyone to see where the improvements need to be made, and that's on that final ball in. But in terms of assets, he is a threat with pace, and you'll just see in moments here in the game where exactly what we're talking about is just, can he get into that final third and just learn to compose himself enough to pick the right spot? Because we know when he's got the ball at his feet, he's running at defenders, he is a handful. But it's just those. I mean, that took a deflection, but we've seen him do that many times where he's cut inside and the shot hasn't hit the target. If he can if he can improve that side of his game, where he starts finding players consistently with crosses, getting on the left and right foot, and his shots hit the target, I think we're going to struggle to keep hold of him, if I'm brutally honest.
Liz, did you play with someone who was incredibly talented out wide, but just a bit inconsistent? And did you say anything to them to try and sort of help their game from a striker's point of view?
Yeah, funny enough, it obviously wasn't when we was in the Prem. When I was at Leighton Orient, we had someone, Moses. He went on to play for Brentford in the Premiership, but he was quite young to start off with, and we spoke numerous of times about lifting his head up when he's running. And I think sometimes if I look at Corey, sometimes he seems to have his head down a lot. So then he can only do one thing, which is take the defender. And for me, especially at this day and age, if you can pass it and then move into different spaces, it would be unplayable at times. But to keep on trying to take people on, good defenders will read it and they'll know you got your head down, and they'll keep spaces, and they'll make sure they wait for the correct time to tackle you. But if you can pass and then move into different spaces, and I think he'll be a handful. If you watch how quickly he moves, for me, you'd prefer to move without the ball than with the ball. It's a lot easier. The pictures become different as well. But for me, he just seems to have his head down a lot when he's running with the ball. Maybe when he gets on the outside, maybe just start practicing on his left foot, which I didn't.
Which you didn't.
before Bradley said anything.
No, it's actually really, really, really good advice, and I'm sure he'll be sort of taking that on board. And as each season comes on, he's not just getting better, but he's getting stronger. He's lasting longer. He wouldn't have scored a goal like that last season or the season before, would he?
Well, I think you make a great point in terms of where he was at physically when he turned up here, which he could play like half a game, then a full game, and then he'd be out for a month. And it was really frustrating. And is that a confidence thing? Is that a mental thing? You know, we don't know because we don't work behind the scenes. But if you can get a player who's got that speed and that ability to dribble the ball at that pace, and you get them right physically and you get them right mentally, and they're enjoying their football, then you'll start to see the best. The technical bit is down to him and only down to him. But there's a mental side of it where your coaching staff and your manager do make a big difference. You know, if they take the time out to assess your game and they're talking to you regularly and you feel confident with your coaching staff, you can get the best out of a player like Corey.
And also what you want to do is you want to build relationships with your teammates. It seemed at the moment he was doing a lot of things on the moment. There weren't really any connections with his centre midfielders, maybe the left back, maybe the striker, playing it off and going into space. So you want to start building relationships. You want people to understand how you play, and you want to understand how they play. And it maybe make it a little bit easier for him. And in doing that, he might last a little bit longer in games and be able, at last minutes of the games as the season goes on, to last the whole 90 minutes and actually have massive influences on games at the end of games.
I think he'll definitely be a championship player next season. I just hope it's with us, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Happy birthday, Corey. Have a good one tonight. I'm sure you will. Well deserved. What did you make of us in terms of us going forward over the whole 90 minutes?
Yeah, I felt, as I said before, I think the first 20 to 25 minutes, I thought we was really good. We got a lot of chances, a lot of touches in the box. I think Miles, as the game went on, he looked like he was getting a little bit tired in that position out wide. But for me, this is the first chance. That's a good strike, but I would just like to see that goal, a cross goal. I think you've got to really concentrate on making sure, even if you drag it past the post, but I don't think you're going to beat the keeper from there. The keeper's literally standing on his near post. I think if you just side foot that into the far corner, that's a goal. There's great movement from Corey there as well. He cuts in here, this is when he has a shot. As I say, Miles there, if Miles can turn, as he's about to strike, just go towards goal. As he's about to put his foot backwards, you know he's not going to pass it to you. Get out of that area and go and get a tap in. Get out of the area there, good. Get behind the centre back and be the first on it, and it's a tap in, it's an easy goal. This one here, I think, is just look Miles when he opens up and he strikes, as Brownie said there, I think he'll be disappointed as well. I think with his strike, I think you concentrate on keeping the ball down and going across goal and making the keeper work.
I tell you what stands out though, in terms of players and the brightness of the movement and the speed of the movement and how many players we've got in forward areas. All right, we're not in abundance behind the ball, and I think we've been guilty of that as well. Build-up play's been too slow. We've been too defensive-minded in terms of where the players have been sat. You look at all these clips, and there's bright movement. It's quick, and this was when the team was playing with good confidence in that first half. And then if you actually want to flip it, and I think it's brilliant for analysis for Michael, if I'm honest, because he's going to get to see the best of us in the first 45, and then he's going to see what he needs to work on in that first 25 minutes of the second half. So it's like I said, in terms of the day, a 3-1 win, 3 points in the bag, a loud Valley, actually. We said, didn't we, near the end? Yeah. Really good to hear the faithful singing.
I'd like to see Miles there. God, we spoke about that, didn't we? Just anticipation.
Let's hear what Michael has to say. He must be quite proud of his team. He is with Charlotte.
Michael, congratulations on a hard-fought 3 points on your first game in charge here at the Valley. Give me your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've got to be happy to take the win. You know, from a personal point of view, and you know, for a collective point of view for the team, it was certainly very hard fought, like you spoke about. I thought the first half, I thought we were good in spells. I thought we managed the ball reasonably well. Dealt with their threat in terms of the front to a real handful. One thing we didn't really get to grip with in the first half was the wide free kicks, which I was a bit disappointed with. But overall, I was okay. I was quite calm with it, and we could have scored another couple of goals. Second half, we knew that they'd sort of come strong. Then the day they're in a great vein of form. They've got a lot of players in the group that are used to winning at this level. They've been doing it under their previous managers for a long, long time. It's that the nucleus of the team is very similar. And we've got a group of players who are learning on the job, almost. From a profile point of view, that they're not that type that can just sit in and make it difficult for the opposition. So we have to find a sort of different way. And one way of doing that, I believe, at this moment in time, is to try and keep it as fresh as we possibly can. And that's the reason why, obviously, I use the subs bench. And obviously, you know, they were very positive when they come on.
They certainly were. You made that triple substitution at a very important point in the game to good effect. How pleasing is that for you on a personal point of view as manager, but also, and similarly, how important is it for us as a squad to make sure that we have the fitness to end games as strongly as we did this afternoon? Yeah,
and to be fair, like I say, a few of the lads have sort of pulled up today with cramp, and I take sort of full responsibility for that. I have been working very, very hard with the players and try and improve the fitness levels. We have to be, for 95, 100 minutes, make sure that we're ultra competitive and not for half a game. And I thought we did that today. We didn't do it on last week, but we did it today. I made a big point on here after the game last week that it's important that the substitutes make a big difference. When they come on, they have to have a positive effect on the game. I thought everyone last week did that, and I thought again today that they did their job at the right time. You know, and it's about, you know, what we do as a group. It's not the 11 that go out on the field. And I think the sort of togetherness that they've shown at times when we're under the cosh today proves that slowly but surely we're getting that mentality.
Wycombe came into the game on a decent unbeaten run, and our defence had to stay firm, particularly in periods in that second half, but stand firm as a collective, and that included all of the outfield players contributing to that strategy to keep Wycombe out. And then, of course, we did capitalise late on with those 2 goals.
Yeah, and it's important because, you know, I have a little phrase, you know, if you don't bite as a pup, you won't as a dog. And we've got a lot of sort of players in the team who probably didn't bite as a pup. So, yeah, we have to find ways where we get certain players around the ball to help us in them situations, because we haven't got a massively aggressive group. So, you know, I knew it was going to be tough at times today. I knew I was going to have a little bit of an uncomfortable feeling. It's just obviously try to stay calm at the right moments and sort of, you know, try and make a change when we did.
We got 3 goals from 3 forward players. It's nice to see our attacking Arsenal fit and in a position for you to be able to rotate, switch things up, and to have those options in tightly contested games.
Yes, very much so. I was obviously delighted with the goals and for the players that scored the goals. There was a couple of decent goals in there, bits of build. You know, Chuks is getting stronger and fitter as well. You know, so. The likes of Miles, TC, obviously Teddy got his goal today, Corey scored again today. You know, they're starting to feel really, really good about themselves, and we've got a little bit of momentum going. You know, that's 2 wins and a draw from 3 games now. We're not getting carried away. I'm not the type, you probably think it now as you're interviewing me, I'm not the type to get carried away. But, yeah, we've got another full week next week to work with the players and make sure that, you know, we turn up at Shrewsbury next week absolutely at it.
Well, that confidence is so important, and actually it does lead me quite nicely to my next question, because I know there are lots of positives, but I'm sure you've got a fair few things going on in your mind about areas you'd like to improve upon from today as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, and we spoke about one of them after the game. You know, I concentrated on obviously a lot of the positive stuff, as you do, and it rightly so, but there was 1 or 2 areas that I think we can be better still, and that can be coached into them, and that can sort of work. So we'll be looking to address that this week. But like I said, I'd rather let them have the moment, enjoy tonight, have a rest tomorrow, and we'll be right back at it on Monday.
They'll enjoy it. Our supporters will enjoy it as well. The noise at the end was fantastic. I just wanted to get your thoughts on your first impression being boss here at Charlton.
Absolutely delighted, but I got a feel for it last week, you know, with the support that we had at Stevenage. They were almost sucking the ball into the back of the goal. So we have to give them something to shout about. I'm aware of that. I'd like to think today they've seen a different side in terms of the grit and determination to keep the ball out of the goal. And then obviously we know we've got quality. So if we can deal with them moments in the game and then go again, obviously you've seen the likes of obviously Corey and what he's capable of.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, and enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
Yeah, I said this pre-match. He speaks really well, and I feel he's going to give the team a little bit of steel that we haven't really had, and play at the right times?
Yeah, I think what you're seeing there is a very experienced coach's head who's been there, seen it and done it. And we try and explain when we're sat here, football is so difficult. And for some reason in this country, when someone doesn't have a particularly good spell as a manager, we write them off, which is mental. Because actually from the bad jobs, you actually probably get more out of than the good jobs. And I think what you're seeing here is a guy that has obviously become a coach very early on because of an injury during his career. And the thought processes and what comes out is a very good, experienced coach's brain. Listen, I hope he gets as long as he can and he gets backed in January, because I think from what I've seen so far, I think we're going to get better and better and better. And actually, it explained away the cramp there today, because most people go, what are they doing on the training ground? They've got cramp, and actually they're overtraining. Because he knows he's got to get them to a position where they've got to fight for 90, 100 minutes these days. You know, and actually you don't think about he's overtrained them. You think about they're not doing enough, and it's the opposite. Yeah. You know, I think we've got a really good guy in charge of the team at the moment, and just hope we can find him the balance in terms of the recruitment to get him a side that will fight for a playoff place.
He talked about how it was important to kind of sort of stay firm. You know, at 1-1, it was we didn't know which way it was going to go, did we? Wycombe had their chances in the second half, but how did you see us defensively?
Yeah, I think he made a point in saying that Wycombe have experienced players, they have winners in their side, and I think when you play a team like Wycombe, I think you're going to concede chances. He did point out that he wasn't happy with his set plays, which is fair enough, because I felt on another day they maybe could have scored 2 or 3 from these sort of areas. So I think that's something that we're going to have to look at. That's for me, that's way too easy for a striker to get in the back stick, unopposed, free header. And I'm sure he'll be looking at that thinking, look, that can't keep on happening, because against better teams, that's a goal. And
switching up, I mean, it's a throw-in. It's a real basic throw-in that's gone to a central midfielder. He's had a first touch, a look up, and been able to deliver. And I think that again there, did we get tight enough there? You know, those little moments. And you know, he's not silly. He'll go home tonight. He'll rerun this, and he'll start working out who, why, what needs to improve. And I think we'll see that over the coming weeks.
Who, why, what needs to improve?
Well, I think we've got to get right there in terms of what you've seen there. Kev's exactly right. Forget about the guy getting a free header. That's a throw-in, unopposed to a central midfielder, and a ball into our box. That cannot happen at any level. Doesn't matter what level you work at. That's not good enough. We're either gone too safe behind the ball. We're not communicating well enough who's supposed to go out and put pressure on the ball. All those things need to, it didn't lead to anything there, but if that leads to a goal, we're on that. Doing analysis, you're picking that out. But it didn't lead to a goal, but all those things will be addressed. I'm pretty sure of it.
Absolutely. Let's talk about a couple of individuals before we go. First of all, Miles back to fitness, getting on the score sheet again. Yeah. What do we think of him in that position? And again, what advice would you give him, Liz, if you were speaking to him one-on-one?
It's difficult because you're a young boy and you want to run with the ball, you want to carry the ball, you want to be involved in the game. But I think, as Brownie said, I think if the right back pushes up a little bit more and helps him out, I think from that position, I think he could play a little bit more central. And if you look at Miles, I know he can do all this hard work, but there's a reason he cramped up. I actually said at the beginning of the game, he's going to struggle to play this role at the size he is for 90 minutes.
Just explain that, why?
I just feel the way he's built, he always wants to be involved, and if there's grass in front of him, I think he wants to run. Like, he's a young boy, he just wants to run in front of grass, but I think this is where I want him. Like, if you look, the right back's there, and he's now centre of the goal, and I think that's where he can be more influential in this position. But yeah, he's a young boy. Here, I would like to see him go across the back, maybe back or the front of the defender, maybe.
But just take a risk, whatever.
Yeah.
Even if you dive inside and it doesn't come to you, take a risk.
Where he is, he's not going to score from, is he? And if you look at Miles here, look, the first thing he wants to do is take him on. Where I think sometimes if he could just get control of the ball, lay it to someone, make another movement. Every time he wants to make something happen. He's one of those players that and I don't think you can play that position and keep on doing that. And I think now if he just comes back out, plays someone. Do you know what I mean? Then he doesn't have to, once he's lost it, he doesn't have to track back. So I think, he doesn't play this position much. So he's still, as the manager said, he's still learning on the job. But when he's in the centre of goal and in the box, this is what he can do in it. And I think this is his best position. I know he's doing what the manager asks him to do, but that's where he should be.
He needs a bit more credit for that than actually I've probably given him, because he does want to strike that first time. That's the first time I've seen him twitch to try and take the shot first time and realises the pace on that ball is too much to do that.
To be fair, I've said it about 4 times, so you've obviously ignored
well, I
me.
switch off when you speak.
Yeah, okay.
It's like back in the day. Not interested, Kev.
He's a bad kid like that.
Just do your job.
Yeah, it's easy. Just shift it at his feet and centre back, innit? It's an easy goal. Just take it out your feet and score.
The easiest bit. I have to track everything you do, right?
And
then
all he
put
has
my
to
own
do,
game.
yeah.
You just run into the box and let it in.
No, it's a great finish.
Don't say as Brownie said. You said it 4 times.
No, I said it.
He
But
didn't.
no, listen. For all the work he did, he gets half a chance and he scores.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm sort of alluding to.
He has got a real chance.
Yeah,
a real chance. Louis Watson as well, full league debut. I was impressed. Were you?
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought he was bright in possession. Lovely little pockets there. And I said the movement in front of the ball today was brilliant. Look, wants it back again. Give it me. And I think he was in actually a very good position. Let's we highlight Corey again. Give it back to him. You haven't got to take everyone on all the time.
Yeah.
He's in a great position. Pop it back to him, and I think he gets a touch and a shot away, but could harass him there for the turnover. He's got good energy. I mean, he looks a little bit sly, but he's not afraid to do that part of it, which is to get tight, try and nick it. Always wanting the ball.
If you can read the game as well, you don't have to be the biggest off the ball, do you?
But every time he passes it, he moves again. Every time he passes it, he wants it back again. I know, obviously, that's a foul. He doesn't move because he's on the floor. But from what I saw, every time he's scanning, he's looking, he's moving. Look there, he's made another angle, even though he doesn't get it back. And I think good players, they know what's around him. And he seems to make the right decisions at the right times. And yeah, I thought he had a really good, positive game.
Yeah, getting to the point where not the 11 picks itself, Brownie, but there's more and more players who are showing that they should be first team. Yeah,
what we're seeing, Scotty, I think over the last sort of 2 or 3 games is more strength in depth, you know, which can only be great for the team because it gives Michael more options. And actually, if he feels like someone's tiring a little bit, you know, they need to come out the side. It's not like there's going to be a big dip off now because we've got much more strength in depth, and that can only be a good thing. We've seen it with the front line where we've been struggling, you know, to fill positions.
We've got 2 options off the bench now. Daniel Carney wasn't even on it.
Absolutely,
yeah.
He's already done well this year in terms of you know, producing goals. So we are getting stronger and stronger as a squad. And I've said to you off air, you know, is 7 games in October a good thing? I think Michael will want more time on the training ground to coach the team, right? Rather than just go one game after another. But, you know, that's how this league tends to go. We have a quiet month and then a busy one. And unfortunately, he's got 7 games coming up.
One final one before we kind of move on. You wanted to mention Harry as well.
I thought Harry commanded his box well today. And we've seen how much pressure they can put you under from crosses into boxes. And they did. But actually, particularly in the second half when we were under a little bit of pressure, I thought he came and made some great claims. We were a little bit critical of the goal last week. And today, I think, credit where credit's due, had no chance on the goal whatsoever. And he came and made some claims under pressure today, which were decent claims. OK, let's have a look at what else went on in Sky Bet League One, shall we? Some interesting results. Blackpool hammer Reading by 4 goals to 1. A 1-1 draw. Good game that would have been, wouldn't it, between Bolton and Peterborough. 4-1. Bristol Rovers Wigan, slight surprise there. 1-1 between Burton, Fleetwood, Cambridge and Port Vale. Good away win up at Carlisle. You said, Brownie, didn't you? It's a difficult place to go, even geographically, but Derby have come back with all 3 points, as have Stevenage at Cheltenham. That's a very good 3-0 win. Leyton Orient, Liz got the 1-0 home win against Shrewsbury. Decent that. Away win for Barnsley at Northampton. Convincing home win for Oxford against Exeter. And Portsmouth will be staying top after that 2-1 win against Lincoln. Oxford much improved this year, aren't they? You know, you wonder when someone has a good start, are they going to be able to settle in and continue? I think we thought the same about Plymouth last year, and Oxford have had a good start. They look like a good side.
Well, they have moved up to second. Portsmouth the top, Stevenage a third, level on points with Oxford. Port Vale, Barnsley and Exeter make up the playoff places. 16 points Exeter on. We are in 16th place on 10 points, 6 points off those playoffs. OK, so he'll be absolutely delighted with that. Next game is against Shrewsbury away. What are we thinking there? You know, is he looking to try and change things, or we'll wait and see how everyone's fit and not?
Yeah, I think, sort of half explained it earlier, we have had a squad that struggled in terms of its fitness levels across the board. So I think it is a week-by-week thing at the moment for Michael. I think he's just going to assess everybody as he builds up. He's shown he's not afraid to do, make changes and put people in positions we didn't think. Because I thought when I saw the team today, I thought Campbell would be wide and May would be off of Miles, actually.
Yeah.
I thought Miles would lead the line and Alfie would be the guy dropping in the pocket, trying to get him behind. And he's not afraid to move players around to fit what he wants. But I think it's just a case of assessing, Scott, because we do have players that struggle at the moment, fitness-wise.
Well, that is the next game next Saturday. Looking forward to that one already, as I'm sure Michael is, although Corey's just started his birthday celebration, so he won't be thinking about that. I certainly wouldn't have done anyway. OK, coming up on Charlton TV later tonight, we'll have extended highlights of today's game against Wycombe. From early next week, Charlton TV subscribers will be able to watch today's production back in full. Our next game, as we just seen, Caesars against Shrewsbury away a week today. And that is all from us here at the Valley. Liz, thanks very much for turning up. We really appreciate it.
Half a day.
Is it just
bonus?
Yeah,
still get the same money.
75% I've just been told from
still the same money apparently. And petrol one.
Do you know what? 75% of the time, but 100% quality.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
Yeah. Listen, all I know is that it's always a pleasure, mate. Isn't it? Always a pleasure.
Is Kerb still away? I'm not quite sure. I think he'll be back, won't he?
He's back.
He's back. He's back for next week. So
we'll be on time.
We'll look forward to you next time, Liz. Thank you very much indeed. Shrewsbury Town next weekend. Please, if you can, book ahead, get that £10 pass paid for, and hopefully we'll be able to go away from home and get all 3 points. As we have today. Really enjoyed it here at the Valley. A very good win against Wycombe, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.